It's time.
I'm rolling with my nigga, gonna wake up shop. We kick a little something for the radio.
It's time.
I'm rolling with my nigga, gonna wake up shop.
It's time.
Check it, brush it, tune it up.
Hey, hey, hey. That's my wake up theme music. That's the wake up show theme music. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about music in a minute, but good morning, good morning. This is the road to $1 million. Ange, Marlon, Lupe, Karen. I brought back the wake up show music. I usually don't repeat the music, but I'm gonna tell you a story about the music in a minute. The powers that be gave us a little slap on the wrist yesterday about the music. So that. So the reason I felt comfortable going ahead and using that music there is because that was not an actual song that ever got sold to anybody. But yesterday, Marlon and I got the little slap on the wrist from Big Brother that says we are probably using music that belongs to someone else. And so Ancoma, good morning, Ancoma. I would love to play some Nas and some Tribe. Wow, people are blowing us up this morning. But I would love to play some Nas and some Tribe and some of all my favorites. But I got to navigate my way around this music thing. We got the little warning yesterday, even with the disclaimer. And can you believe it? I thought we were cool. It does not appear so. We got a little notification saying you appear to be using music that belongs to someone else. So anyway, I'll deal with that. So I brought back the Wake Up Show theme song because I love the idea of the Wake Up Show, and that was some intro music that I don't think was ever marketed for sale. So I think I can use that, and so that's a pretty cool intro, cool way to start our morning. So this is the road to $1 million. I am Daron Campbell, your real estate mentor. I think I got water in my ear because I sound muffled to me, and I just got out of the shower a few minutes ago, so maybe I got a little water in there. But anyway, it's not going to stop me from having a good time with you guys today, because our motto today is, well, the overriding theme today, ladies and gentlemen, is let's go big. Let's go big. You know what? Let's go really big. I want you to think about what it is you were planning on doing today, or doing this week, or doing this month, or even better, doing this quarter. And let's think about how you could supersize it. Is there a way to supersize what you were planning? Here's the funny thing. There's always a way to supersize what you're thinking of doing. And so I want you to start thinking about, how to supersize your objectives, your plans, your goals, your mission. Supersize it. Does McDonald's own that term, supersize it? Maybe I can't say it. Let's jack up our plan. Grant Cardone always says 10x it. Let's go 10x. Let's go 10 times the amount. Let's supersize the thing. If I get a notification from McDonald's, you guys, I'll tell you tomorrow. But hey, let's think about how to make it bigger. Okay, so let me give you an example. I put together some partnership deals in the past and put some investors together so that they could, we could. Okay, well, let me give you the evolution of it. Early on, I was selling real estate, and I saw that apartment buildings seemed to make a lot of sense. So I figured out how to purchase a couple of small apartment buildings for myself, right? And I got creative with that stuff. I mean, sometimes you got to really put on your creative hat. Boom, I convinced this guy to carry the loan and let me buy 2 of his buildings from him. And that took some miracle work that I never thought would happen, but it happened. I never thought somebody would agree to sell me their building at a fair price and carry the loan at a fair interest rate. I'm like, that's not gonna happen. Guess what? It happened. Okay, so that's how I purchased my first 2 apartment buildings. Fast forward, and I'm buying these little buildings, and I'm like, hey, that's cool, that makes sense. But I started noticing that instead of a 12-unit building that I had just purchased, I started looking at the numbers of this building that somebody else I had sold, I had brokered like a 44 unit building. And so his building was about, 3.5, 4 times the size of mine. However, his cash flow was more than 4 times mine. His cash flow was about 10 times mine. So you go, wait a minute. I bought the building. His building is 4 times as large as mine, but his cash flow is 10 times more than mine. 10 times as much as mine. There was something wrong with this picture. It was disproportionate, and it became more and more disproportionate. Good morning, T and Garrett and Tracy. It became more and more disproportionate the larger the building got. Okay, so I find myself buying these little buildings and making this much cash flow, but you buy a building that's double the size, but the cash flow was more than double. So I started realizing, wait a minute, there's some economies of scale that come with going bigger, going bigger, going bigger. So then I figured out, well, wait a minute, what if I don't have the cash to buy a 45 or 50 or 60 unit building? What can I do then? What would I do? What would I do? I go, well, wait a minute. Hey, Tam, wait a minute. What if I found other people who wanted to own big buildings too and decided, hey, would you want to ride together on this building? Come to find out, lots of people were interested in riding together. And so I found that it would make sense sorry about that. I found that it would make sense for each of us to go together on this one building. It would make more sense for all of us to team up on this one building than for each of us to go out and buy our own. So I could have found each of us our own building. But rather than do that, I said, why don't we all team up and buy one big one, and we'll all make more than we would have made individually because of those economies of scale, right? So that's where my syndication business was born. And by the way, I am developing an advanced syndication course called 7-Figure Syndicator. And any of you that want to learn how to syndicate, put together partnerships, learn how to buy big stuff, you can reach out to me, because that course is coming soon. It's going to be fun, and it's going to teach you how to play big. And that's the theme right now. Go bigger, play big. Whatever you think you can do, those of you that missed the first couple of minutes, the theme today is you are going to go bigger. You need to go bigger. How can you take whatever it is you thought you were going to do today and go bigger? If you thought, hey Johnny, hey Jess, if you thought, okay, I'm going to contact 5 people today, then how could you leverage that and somehow touch 50 people today? Think about it. Put on your creative hat. Put on your thinking cap for a minute. How can I do 10 times what I thought I was going to do? Because see, here's the thing. Just like that economies of scale with the apartment buildings scenario I just told you about, one building that was 4 times the size made 10 times the money. Get that in your head. Get that in your head. Because when the economies of scale start happening, it becomes disproportionate. So when you start to magnify, multiply, exponentially grow your endeavor, then the returns become exponentially different. Does that make any sense? Try this. If you were going to try to reach out to 5 people today, I want you to get as creative as you could get and say, how could I possibly reach 50 instead of 5? How can I do 50 instead of 5? How can I do 10 times? How can I do how can I go 10 times? Oh, that's funny, T. You saw the banner? You saw my banner on that big building on Western? That's cute. I get a lot of calls on that thing. It's crazy how many people drive by and see my name on that building. But I want you to 10x your efforts. Now, okay, you might say, hey, DC, morning, Zach. You might say, DC, I can't possibly meet 50 people today. I was going to meet 5. I can't meet 50. You're crazy, dude. You're crazy. Well, I'm not crazy. I said, put on your thinking cap. Put on your creative hat. Create some magic here. instead of maybe just meeting with 5, figure out how you can leverage your efforts and touch 50. What if you still met with the 5, but texted a specific message and a specific call to action to 45 more? What if you took an hour and found 45 more people that you knew or had contacts with or had phone numbers, and you texted them all something and said, hey, this is Daron. I got some great opportunities. Please call me as soon as possible because I want to talk about how to enhance your cash flow and grow your real estate portfolio and help you grow your wealth. You don't think anybody will call me back on that? I took my 5 appointments and I figured out how to leverage it into 50 touches. You see, get out of conventional, think outside the box, turn 5 appointments into 50. Okay, so if you were going to, hey Zach, yeah, I'm in the mood, Zach, I'm in the mood. Hey Carolyn, good to see you guys. If you were gonna, here's one. A bunch of you guys are calling around and asking people if you can sit their open houses. Now, I happen to know a couple of people that are planning to call 2 or 3 other agents who have listings in their farm, and they're gonna ask them if they could do their open house. Okay, I admire that effort, and it's pretty good. But if you only reach out to 2 or 3 of those people, then it only takes 2 or 3 people to shut you out completely, right? So instead, why don't we 10x the effort? Why don't we say, I'm gonna call 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people, but then I'm gonna send a very specific text message to 30 more agents who have listings in the area. Because you see, if you treat it like that, you're gonna get an open house to sit this weekend. 3 is great, 30 is infinitely better. Do you understand? If they put on your creative hat and figure out how you can go big. Put on your thinking cap and figure out how you can lever up. Put on your creative thing, drink your creative coffee, and figure out how you can do 10 times as much damage. Come on, you guys. See, here's the thing. Most people just don't talk to enough people. Most people just don't ask enough questions. Most people don't invite enough investors. I was up from 1:30 in the morning until about 5 this morning. And so my brain was going 117 miles an hour. And so I'm thinking, and all I want to think is, I'm starting to think, I'm thinking about this, I got this deal in the pipeline, I got that one, and I start thinking about, okay, well, that turns into this much money or whatever. And then I thought to myself, somebody just told me about this giant thing over here. And if I were able to pull off that giant thing, it would make me about 8 or 9 times as much money as all those other ones combined. So without getting into specifics, I know you guys like specifics, right? I'm talking about a couple of ordinary paydays, versus one that's like a make the year kind of thing, like top 10 in the nation for the year if that deal went down. So why wouldn't I work on this one for a little bit? See, I want you guys to start thinking bigger so we can do things that move the needle. I want your life to change because of something you did today. If you said, I'm gonna touch 5 people, your month might change. If you get out there and make sure you touch 50 people, you might do enough to make your life change, because over time, if you keep adding that effort, and if you keep 10xing your concept, and if you keep supersizing your efforts, and you start thinking, if you start out with the big thought, how can I go big? Whatever that is, how can I go big? Your brain will start creating ways to do it. That whole idea I just gave you about texting 45 extra people, that was just from sitting around ruminating. How can I touch 50 people? How can I touch 50 people? So yeah, Karen, we're talking about extraordinary, the giant thing, T, that's it. Let's do the giant thing, because you know what? And I tell you this from absolute experience. It takes just as much effort for me to do a $700,000 transaction as it does to do the $12 million one that I did a while back. 700, 12 million. You think there was a difference in the size of the payday? Hell yeah, there was a huge difference in the size of the payday. Do you think there was a difference in the size of the effort that I had to put in to close the transactions? I'm here to tell you, the $12 million transaction might have even been easier to pull off because they weren't being petty and small and negotiating stupid stuff. Everything they negotiated was something big and significant, and it meant something. In the small transaction, people were bitching about, a hole in the wall that the picture left when the person moved out. I'm like, really? Like, seriously? And so the point is, if you shoot bigger, you'll find that the effort isn't that much different to close that transaction or to make that deal happen. Like if you're in the stock brokerage business or I know you're in the commodities game and futures business, it takes just as much effort to talk to somebody who can invest $5,000 as it does to talk to somebody who could invest $5 million. So why wouldn't you just take the shot at the $5 million? You see, if you don't possess the confidence and you don't think you're good enough to have that conversation, Brian Everett, how are you? If you don't think you're skilled enough to have that conversation, then you need to check your skill set. But if you feel like you have the skills already to deliver what it is you sell, then why not go up the food chain to the biggest and best? Why not 10x your efforts so that instead of talking to 5 of those people, you talk to 50? Why not find a way instead of spending your day knocking on 12 doors and you're exhausted after those 12 doors and you feel like, okay, well, that's my work for the day. What if you just made flyers and just speed door knocked in? Instead of knocking on the doors at all, you leave them something on the door, say, call me immediately. Leave it on the porch and go. And do it for 50 houses. Call me crazy. But I think sometimes taking a radical, massive action like that behooves you, because 8 or 9 of those people might call you back. If you only get to knock on 12 doors because it's hot and you're tired and it's like slow going, boom, 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 when are they coming to the door? That's slow going. But what if you said, screw it, I'm gonna make 100 flyers and I'm just gonna freaking tape it to the front door, or leave it on the porch, or stick it in the door, or whatever, and give them a radical call to action. There's a way to exponentially magnify anything you're trying to do. And I'm just challenging you to take whatever it is you're doing and magnify it. You see, there's a way for you to go faster in your prospecting. There's a way for you to go faster in your appointment setting. There's a way. What if you just went, instead of the pleasantries, why don't you try this on for size? Why don't you just go and pick out 20 people in your sphere of influence, 20 people in your database, and just call them up and say, hey, I need you to meet me for coffee tomorrow. Are you free at 10? That's it. Just don't explain much. Just do it. And the objective is, and when they say, what's this all about? Say, hey, look, I'm going to make you and me some money. And they say, look, I got to go, but can you meet? You ever tried anything like that? You ever tried it? Instead of thinking it all out and thinking you got to shoot the crap for a while, for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, what if you gave yourself put a little timer on yourself, turn on the timer on your phone, or get an egg timer or something, and give yourself 30 seconds to a minute to have each conversation. It's kind of like speed dating, except it's like speed prospecting. Get a list of people that you know, because those are people you can like speed date, and go, hey, T, it's Daron. Listen, I really don't have a lot of time, but I'm just wondering, can you meet me for coffee tomorrow, 10 o'clock, Starbucks on Ventura Boulevard? What's it? Wait, let's just hook up. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm going to talk to you about making some money. How about tomorrow, Starbucks, Allied in Ventura? 10 o'clock, can you do it? Okay, sure. All right, see you later. Click, boom, next. Hey, Fred, listen, I'm going to be at Starbucks at around 12:30, just wrapping up a meeting. Could you swing by and meet me there, and let's talk about making some money this year together? What do you think? Tomorrow, 12:30, I think I'm free. All right, 15 minutes of your time. Come by, meet me at Starbucks. I'll just be wrapping up another meeting. Meet me there, see you there. Okay, cool, boom, boom. Two appointments in 60 seconds. You could do this. I'm just telling you, put on your creative freaking hat and touch more people and talk to more people and give more effort and get exponential with whatever it is you're trying to do. That's how you can turn an ordinary year into an extraordinary year. Don't overcomplicate it, you guys. Just get in front of more people, have more conversations, touch more people, give more calls to action. What if I've done something crazy before, and I had this farm, and I needed to mail like 100 pieces a day, and and my big long descriptive letters and with all the flowery language and the who I am and how special I am and how I want to serve you and all that was getting boring to me, right? Didn't feel like I was getting enough calls, right? So I decided to just trip out one day and told my assistant, this is funny, I put the assistant to work, told my assistant, look, take these 25 names, address an envelope to them, write a handwritten note inside the envelope and say, I need to meet you, call me ASAP, and put my phone number and mail that shit. And mail that stuff. And guess what? I got like 8 appointments because they called. You can overthink this game, you guys. You just need to have more conversations and see what people are doing. Okay, last example. I have this cool directory with nothing but CEOs and presidents in it. And I happen to know all of these guys because I'm a member of the group. So anyway, a bunch of the guys I haven't talked to in a couple of years, right? Because they graduate from the group. And I've since sort of graduated from the group and go to another, a more advanced group. But anyway, there's a bunch of these guys, really high net worth kind of dudes, and haven't talked to a bunch of them in a while. I'm thinking to myself, whoa, what if I call them? They're gonna think it's weird. They haven't talked to me in 2 years. And then I just go, screw it. You know what I'm gonna do? In the next 20 minutes, I'm gonna call 10 of these guys and I'm gonna ask them out to lunch. Boom, hey, Fred, haven't talked to you in a while. I just wanted to grab you for lunch. What day you got next week? Hey, Daron, what have you been up to? Oh, that's what I want to get together about. Let's catch up. I got a lot of opportunities out there. I know you and I could be doing something together. Can you do Tuesday at noon? Yeah, I'm free Tuesday at noon. Done. I'll meet you at your office and we'll walk to lunch. Cool. Click. Next. It actually took me about 41 minutes to set 8 lunch appointments. I'm gonna be eating a lot of lunch, you guys. I'm gonna have to eat a piece of lettuce each time because I'm gonna weigh 250 pounds by the time I'm done with all these lunches. But the point is, they all said yes. Well, 2 people didn't pick up. But anyway, pretty much everyone said yes. Stop thinking so hard. Think of how you can jack it up. You guys know my favorite saying, right? Dumb it down and speed it up. Perfect examples of how you can dumb it down and speed it up. Why don't you try that in your day-to-day? Try it. You know what? Hit me up and call me crazy tomorrow if dumbing it down and speeding it up doesn't work for you. Zach, I know you'll do it, Zach. Zach's like this diehard dude that's like a soldier. Zach, if you give Zach a great idea, he'll implement it and he'll do it better than you did it. So just Zach, I want you to try that. Just dumb it down and speed it up just all day to day. If you don't multiply your results, all of you guys, if you don't multiply your results, then hit me back and call me crazy. And I'll take my medicine like a man. So that's today's thought, you guys. Let's go big. Let's go big. When I put this crazy deal together that I'm trying to put together, I'm going to tell you guys all about it. And it might just blow your mind, but it'll inspire you to say, you know what? Why not? That's what I'm going to say. Why not? Okay? So you guys, try it. Just experiment with me. Roll, baby, roll. Yeah, there you go, Zach. We're going to keep it simple. Stupid. I love that. Anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, the challenge is on. Dumb it down, speed it up. I'm Daron Campbell. I'm your real estate mentor. Let's rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make this happen. Let's go big. Go big or go home. Here we go. That's the wake up show music. Wake up, people. Go big. I'm Daron Campbell. I'm your real estate mentor. I'll see you at the top.
Take your fast mic and turn the uptier. You need to keep the blow. Red sky, 9 o'clock. Time for the wake up show. To the break of your think I'm a say doing what I say. Take cause of rhymes with straight my words I wanna see. Blotting out the mainstream, doing it right with your ways on the mix. Making it nice and soothing cause the crew don't sleep. Moving in your 92.3. It's 9 o'clock for you, 92.3. The people kids to rock hip hop non-stop.